In today's day and age, it's really hard to find a landscape that's untrammeled by man. A place where you can go almost hundreds of miles in any direction and still have an intact landscape.
Every time you're here, you see something different. In these wide open spaces, there's a sense of awe, and it really, truly never does get old for me.
You know, you can get solitude out here. I can always find some place where there's nobody else.
Sometimes a trip to the desert can be life-changing, and it lasted 2 or 3 days. But in a way, it lasts forever. The Owyhee Canyonlands are the centerpiece of a huge chunk of real estate that actually involves 3 states. We're talking, you know, probably close to 10 million acres. My name is Julie Weichel. I'm a recently retired large animal veterinarian. There's about 2.1 million acres of it right down here in the southeast corner of Oregon. I've been coming to the Owyhee country for about 55 years now. Gained a little weight since the last time she wore this saddle. Big chunks of intact ecosystem are becoming increasingly rare in the West, and this is one of the last and certainly the biggest left in the lower 48. And that's important for some kinds of wildlife to have. Every way you access this country has its own challenges and its own rewards. If you've got a good horse in the rocks, they actually are having fun. This hillside's pretty much solid rock. They have as much sense of success in the far side of a rock slide as you do, I think. This is not where you take your Sunday afternoon ride. To get here is a major effort.
It's pretty game rich. It's a big landscape, and you know, you can get solitude out here. My name is Walt Van Dyke. I'm a retired fish and wildlife biologist and an avid sportsman. Today we're hunting chukars, but there's a lot of different species in this high desert country, and you know, there's a lot of antelope, pronghorn antelope, of course bighorns here in Leslie Gulch. Sage grouse, another key game species, and a little bit of quail. This chunk of southeast Oregon, the Owyhee country, it hasn't been fragmented. You know, we don't have, as of yet, haven't had to deal with oil and gas development. You know, it's only a spot on the ground, but it has far-reaching, possibly, implications based on what you do in that hole. It just fragments the habitat, so nothing can live out there. A lot of this desert country, this sagebrush country, is more fragile than you think. See, it's really, look at that. It's, you know, and this real loose, a little bit of roots in there, but not much to tear it up. You could take an ATV right up this ridge. You get up on these tops, there's just no limit to where an ATV can go. And unfortunately, people abuse that. And they're taking them off the roads, they're creating new roads. It's also a real good way to introduce noxious weeds.
One of the worst parts of having them out here is the weeds that they bring in on their tires and as they get off the highway. My name is Jean Finley. I am a botanist retired from the U.S. Bureau of Land Management after 33 years. The Owyhee area is full of spectacular geologic scenery. I don't think very many people know about this Owyhee country. You can see how spectacular the weathering is through here. I think the word's got to be put out that it's not just the forest land that's special. These tall bushes here are 50 to 75 years old. To some people, sagebrush seems boring. To me, if you know where to look, you can find many different pockets of these unusual pieces of vegetation. I think Fire is an enormous threat to this country, and we have to figure out a way to be on the spot when fires come. I think grazing is still an issue in some of the areas. I think grazing can be done in this country, but I think grazing needs to be done right.
Should it be declared a wilderness area?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that tracts of land all through this country should be wilderness. That would provide many of the protections that are needed.
Wilderness is a way to protect it, but what I'm really worried about is the other 50, 60, 70% of this watershed that doesn't qualify as wilderness. What's going to happen to that? I'd like to see the rest of it in some kind of a, like either a national conservation area designation or national recreation area designation.
To just hope that people won't notice the Owyhee country because it's been historically hard to get to is naive. It's too late. It's already happened.
I think that people are concerned about their way of life. These are people that have been here for 6 generations, some of them. My name's Chris Hansen. I'm the Owyhee coordinator for the Oregon Natural Desert Association. So the Oregon Natural Desert Association has identified 2.1 million acres within this area that are deserving of some form of permanent protection. And I think that the biggest challenge for us and our biggest goal is engaging the public, engaging people in knowing this place is here and knowing it's valuable. Even if they just go to the edge and look in, it's a place that has that value to all Oregonians, and it is a sort of treasure, a sort of state treasure for them. The main point in which we're looking at is to continue to keep this place the way that it is.